Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
As we close into the halfway point of the 2025 Australian Open, Women's Fours is our feature today on Rinkside Live. Day 7 of the AO about to commence. We have got the team skipped by Glenda Fielding of Penguin in Tasmania and the team skipped by Cheryl Joseph of Meadows in South Australia, the Adelaide Hills. It's Women's Fours action. Val Febo with you alongside the one and only Troy Corber, who played in the Men's Fours yesterday. Troy, how are you? How did you go?
Good morning, Val, and good morning, viewers. Well, I think it tells you everything that I'm sitting here with you this morning. But
you could have just been that good that they just said, you know what, bypass your way to the final.
No, I had a great day with some mates from Tassie that I have not seen for 18 years, so it was great to play again with them, and had an opportunity to play with Chris McKibben, one of the greats of Tasmanian bowls. Played a lot against him and got belted by him, so it was nice to actually play on his team for once.
Yep. Fantastic, mates. And I saw, we were covering you yesterday, and we saw the first game was a bit of a heartbreaker. Second game was a big win, and then when you got to come up against Warren Shipley, it's definitely not easy.
No, they outplayed us. It was a great opportunity to have a chat with Warren. Very nice man, very knowledgeable and dedicated to the game as well. So it was good to have a good chat with him afterwards and enjoy a Shirley Temple or two.
Yep. And, well, we've got today the team from Penguin in Tasmania: Sharon Williams, Vicky Beattie, Karen King. I love that name. Bit of alliteration. Never went astray. And Glenda Fielding up against Valerie Diebel. So goes by Val, so that's going to be confusing. Talking about myself in the third person, maybe. Who knows? From Harndorf in South Australia, and Leonie Silman, Sandra Hull, and Cheryl Joseph from Meadows in the Adelaide Hills, so not too far away from Harndorf. And I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. You can see in the pictures there, people taking photos. This is why the AO is so wonderful. And we saw there's a rink just in front of us here with Tash Van Eldick, Selena Goddard, Jamie Lee Warsnop, Dawn Heyman. The players that they're playing against took a nice photo with the four of them because, not every day you get to play against four world-class opponents. And JR has blown the hooter that really does not sound right.
I think it's struggling.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like, when you ask, can I get a Hoya? And then it sort of goes up in that tone.
The Hoya hooter.
Yep. We'll have to try and stream that later. Go, can we get a Hoya? And then...
Yeah, we've got to time it with JR right.
Yep. I don't know if the sound comes through on the microphones, but nonetheless, we are getting underway. We've got the South Australians in pink this morning. We have let them know not to get in front of the centre line, but of course, people may not be used to being live streamed, so...
I have threatened them with the stick. I've told them they'll get one warning and then the stick comes out.
Yep. Troy is vicious with that stick. So, Val Diebel has just rolled the jack and she's leading. So, from Harndorf in South Australia, very German-centric. Went there when I was 13. Got stuck behind this guy at the ice cream shop, and I'll never forget it. All he wanted was rum and raisin. And he took so long. It's the only thing I remember from
that is the worst ice cream, rum and raisin. Yep. Who eats rum and raisin? Sorry.
It was nice going to Europe and you didn't say rum and raisin anywhere. I think the Italians would kill you.
So I know a lot of viewers out there like to know what's happening with the green conditions and speed. So as has been the case throughout the whole tournament, cold, dewy nights overnight. It will be a bit sluggish this morning. It'll be around that 13.5 to 14 second mark. We are, of course, on the ditch rink, and generally that ditch hand side will play a little quicker because there's more wear and tear on that side. So we'll see how that develops as the game goes on.
Playing in the east-west direction this morning, and then we'll change again to north-south a little bit later on after the opening session. 2 hours and 15 minutes across the 15 ends. Yesterday we completed all of our games before the hooter was blown, so today may be a little different though. I remember last year's Women's Fours Day, we got timed out in 1 or 2 games And we've got Denise O'Brien Warrener. She's been watching every day. You can certainly hear the strangulated hooter. Well, there you go. That's loud then, if you can pick them up through these mics.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
So good start here from Sharon Williams. One on, one behind. This will be Vicky Beattie's first go to get into the action. Now, disclaimer, most of you will know that I am Tasmanian. I will try to be unbiased.
Well, thankfully we've done this game without Connor Munnings on the microphone, because if you know Connor, you know he's a Tassie tragic.
He'd be waxing lyrical about Penguin and all its great attributes.
But yeah, he does. Anytime you mention Tasmania, he's his prick. But it's good. I love the patriotism.
Well, the Penguin girls will be advantaged by this green speed because it's a very common speed down in Tassie, particularly at the start and ends of season. Greens can run quite quickly over the Christmas period, sort of late November through to late January. The greens could be quite brisk, but this is a very normal pace for the Tasmanian girls to be playing on.
So this one kicking through from Vicky. Time for Sandra to get involved.
And I'm loving the action already.
Yep.
I'm
and look,
loving
she's
that.
Holding that pose. Just running through. Found the hole. I was gonna wait.
You were going to keep that one for a while?
Because that's a fairly big gap. But I've got it out of the way. It's out of our system.
Karen might just be flattering the greenkeeper out there. It'll be reasonably tight, at least until halfway through this match. It'll start loosening up.
In the second session, that's probably the line that you need. Unfortunately, she won't be out here on the second session.
Now can Sandra make the correction? Can she sit that bowl? Well, yeah, one down.
Yep.
Probably 2 seconds at this stage.
So let's see.
Sorry, Val. Do love a game of fours. It's the choice of shots and hands to play and the working together in a team.
It's where every bowl is so important across 8 bowl fours or 2 bowl fours.
I've got a theory on fours. I'll have a chat about that later, but it's...
Oh, you just leave me wanting more, Troy. Have you got trivia for us today?
I do. We've covered the 70s, 80s, 90s and noughties.
Yep.
So we've got some trivia coming up in a later session on the Delhi Games.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Delhi Games, not one of the most fruitful for the right-at-home Jackaroos.
So Cheryl's got a nice open head to play to here. She's only one down. Gee, she's tracking okay. Needs it to hold on. Sandra says that'll do.
So Glenda looking to jump in, and nice little pendulum there before she jumps onto the rolling position.
Well, that was interesting because I think Glenda wanted to play the backhand and try and sit that bowl, and a third talked her out of it.
And this might be why. She's not far away. I think she's just going to cut underneath.
Oh. There you go. Gets a beautiful slice of that jack.
That's good thirding. They say it's good skipping when they call the right shot. Well, good thirding as well. What is Sandra telling Cheryl to do here?
Well, I'm liking the clear direction. There's no mucking around from Sandra. She knows exactly what a skipper needs to do. She's giving her all the necessary information. Now she just needs to go out and deliver.
Well, it's rubbed in for a second there, and it's actually not a bad one for her last. Oh, no, that is her last, I believe.
That is her last bowl. Glenda, she doesn't have a great deal of room to count here.
I think this is the right call from Karen.
Whatever hand she plays, she's just got to take good grass. You do not want to be cutting the head.
But I think she was just saying you can try and give yourself the right amount of room and try and come back, sit that bowl from Cheryl and come in for 2. But what would I know? I know she's still doing that, but just on the same hand as before.
Her line's good.
Or doesn't want to promote her own. Doesn't want the jack. Or she found the gap there. Oh no, she promoted. Well,
got a nice result.
1 in, 1 out.
Could have gone sour, but works out well.
Didn't quite see. We do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. So 1 to the Tasmanians from Penguin, 1-0 after 1.
Yeah, it's hard with so many people at the head, and you can understand they're keen to see what's happening at the head and what's happening within their team. So we saw a fairly long 3/4 length for the first end. We'll see if the Tasmanian quartet change things up at all. Matt's gone right back. And, yeah, pretty significantly shorter than the first end.
So, Sharon Williams on the mat. So the Penguin Classic Pairs, one of the best tournaments going around, very popular.
More and more mainlanders going over for that too now, Val.
You ever played, Troy?
No, I haven't played in the Penguin Masters.
Well, I think you need to. Why don't we go? I'll play pairs with you.
Only if you're paying.
All right.
Because we won't win anything, so
well,
you'll need to pay the expenses.
You don't know that. I have a drive that's been called a registered weapon.
It's probably more talking about my bowls ability, mate, but you'd be carrying me.
No, I wouldn't.
Now, this is coming back nicely. Look at this. Great shot, Val.
Thank you.
Talk about Val's bowling good bowls. There's one right there.
Yeah. Oh, look at you, Troy. He's just flying. And so is Valerie Diebel. So we said nickname Val, so if you do hear that name, I'm not talking about myself in the third person. It's very weird commentating someone that has the same name as you because it doesn't happen all that often. This is probably the only sport where you'd see it. Richard Sanson. Morning, gentlemen. So, Val, given your sporting prowess, when will you reverse roles and have someone commentate on a match you're playing?
Oh, I love that, Richard.
That commentator would probably want to pull their eyes out. But maybe one day. Maybe we'll do a special live stream where I play somebody. What I want to do is bring a Jackaroo down to the Darebin Greens.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
And live stream that and see how I go because I've been playing on that for 4 years, once a week, for half an hour for Survivor. And maybe we'll bring someone down and live stream that and see how that goes.
So Val Doob will set the head up very nicely at the start of this end for her team. 1 on, 1 behind. Cheryl's asked Leonie to play on the forehand. Just needs to be a little careful of that opposition front bowl. And we can already see that ditch side is bending a lot more than the other. And that will be because it's running slightly quicker. And that's something as a skip you manage. You try and keep your players on one hand as much as you can, or your front end players at least. And that was always the danger, but she hasn't made any damage, I don't think.
I think we'll just have to...
One and a measure for two.
Might have to word up the ladies once more just to... No, they're okay at the moment. I did see Cheryl just jump in front of the head there, but she's moved and everyone's doing well. Of course, we're not sitting directly behind the head here, so it is hard to see at times, especially when the sun's on the screen.
Now this is coming at a good angle. Oh, gee. Maybe a tad overweight, but still was in the right area to get a good result and just didn't get it. Cheryl pleading with the team to get one in amongst the opposition bowls on this forehand side for Sandra. She hasn't quite reached, unfortunately. So we cross over with the South Australian quartet holding one, potentially two. A little surprised the South Australian team didn't choose to play the hand that Tassie are playing, because it's very open and would look very nice for the Tasmanian team on that hand, and might have been a better tactic for the South Australians to play that same hand.
What has Glenda got? She's travelling, but it's going to come back. She's very close. Glenda.
Well,
has she made two?
So the light green bowl at 7 o'clock looks to be the shot. Yep, Sandra pointing that out there. So holding one, I would say. So good shot there from Glenda. We started the game at a positively balmy 12 degrees. It's Groundhog Day again. Every day's been like this, Val. It's been magnificent.
Yeah, and then the afternoon just starts to get a bit of chill.
Only light winds forecast today, so bears well for us and also bears well for the players. Magnificent conditions to be playing bowls in right now. There are absolutely no excuses out there because it is sensational conditions to be playing bowls. That's not going to quite run it out, is it? No, it won't be. It'll still be one. With the bowl at 7 o'clock of Vicky Beatties for the Tasmanian team.
Is this one travelling? Well, it's going... Ooh, nope. So as we kick the balls back, I think 1 to the South Australians. Seems that way. 1 kicked out.
I think that's the Tasmanian bowl of Vicky Beattie, the light green bowl.
Might be. Sharon pointed 1, but I'm not sure. Next year, I think I'm going to... I tried to do this last year and completely forgot about it before this AO. But I'm lobbying for markers or paddlers at least.
We're going round and round the roundabout. Well, 2's been taken out here. Bowler Karen Kings that I thought hadn't quite made it, but it did. We're going back round the other way so we don't get dizzy.
So what is the total? Zero idea, so we'll go and double check that as Troy almost takes the sound equipment off the table. Get a double check on what the total was. Three to the Tasmanians, so a very good start for them. 4-0 to the good. It's after 2 ends. Really good start for Sharon, Vicky, Karen and Glenda. You all good, Troy?
I'm all good.
Andrew Howie did the exact same thing yesterday.
Did he?
Yep.
I've got my cord drapage a bit better now. Should have done my OH&S tick sheet. Of course, I've already snapped a key off this morning, Val, in the garage door.
We were telling you the other day that the only one to have done that was Paul Holschke, and now you've joined esteemed company.
I have. I've joined. I never thought I'd join a club that included Paul, but I have.
Well, club support manager at Bowls Australia.
Well, that's true.
That's 2. Employee of Bowls Australia.
Similarities are eerie, aren't they?
Yeah. Going to start telling people how tall they are soon.
Great lead up from Sharon. She might be a little disappointed with this one. But she's thrown it out a bit, but absolute cracker with the first.
It's great to have Paul on the coverage yesterday. Provided a lot of entertainment for the viewers, I'm sure. And now, time for Val Diebel. What can she do? Can she arrest the momentum here on this battle?
She's got a beautiful line on this.
She can, I think. Not sure it had the legs.
Cheryl did indicate there, but I just missed it. There's a lot of bodies out there here on the green. It's
yeah, fours can be very tricky. So if we are a little bit left wondering, just bear with us.
We've had a little chortle about my references to being in the milking zone, Val. And
yep.
Fours, very much so, is all about the milking zone for the lead and second. Getting it in that wedge from about a foot short of the jack and then spreading out like a fan to about 2.5 feet behind. Trying to group your bowls in that area.
Yeah, I think we took it to new levels the other day. The milking zone from the teat of bowls. Of course, on the rink next door, we have the great Sandy Wallace. I told her before that we were streaming her, and she almost slapped me.
Yeah, I thought she was going to go you.
Yeah. Oh, I'd back Sandy in a fight against me.
Yeah, I think you're right.
She is one of the best people in this sport. Those who know her will know why. How's this one tracking? We just need Cheryl to hop out of the way. There we go.
Just have a little chat to Cheryl at the conclusion of this end. She's getting a bit excited. Karen King needing a weight adjustment here. Line was great. It's coming from a nice arc again. That ditch side's pulling beautifully. Look at that.
Oh, that is brilliant.
And Glenda really happy about that one. She even almost gave it a little fist pump there.
Yep.
Loved it. Well, she should. There's that familiar style of Sandra. I'm loving that style.
What's the best celebration you've seen in bowls? This one's coming around. Sandra, far away.
I think for Goosebumps, for what it meant and what it was, I think Kelvin's celebration.
Yep.
It was pretty iconic.
Chrissy and Els, I think, for me, when they won the Com Games. But another smoky for me was, and those who live up in Queensland, they'll know, a man named Stephen de Jong, blocker. Now, he played the Right at Home Challenge at the BPL, where you got to roll a bowl onto a mat from our great partners at Right at Home. Smoked it first go, and he gave it the absolute biggest fist pump I reckon I've ever seen in my life. And that was, and it wasn't even, it was just for, a Right at Home pack. But he absolutely relished that opportunity to do that on the TV rink, and blocker absolutely nailed it.
I've got a blocker on the rink as well, but I couldn't help myself. Blocker, he's a great man. He is a great man.
Yep. Saw him yesterday. He was here.
Loves his bowls.
With a nickname like Blocker, you'd have to.
So what can Cheryl do here? She's 2 down. Not much of a target. Not quite sure what she was trying to achieve with that bowl. To me, it looks like there's only weight to the head as an option. She's got a red bowl to 7, 8 o'clock that's going to receive that jack. That's where maybe sometimes coming up to the head to have a look at what your best option is a good tactic. So, comes around the back. Sandra might be intimating to get up at it, Cheryl. No, she's not. She's sticking her foot jack high. Okay.
So what is the adjudication at the end of this? 1 taken out. Is it just that one? 1, 2, the Tasmanian.
No, 2 fingers it was in the Val. Yep.
My eyesight is not very good today, it seems. 6-0 after 3 ends in favour of Sharon, Vicky, Karen and Glenda. I think this might be the only sport where you get a team with those 4 names. It's great, isn't it?
Mm.
Coming up here from the cooler Tasmania, much cooler. I'd be loving this this sun.
Penguin located on the northwest coast of Tasmania. Nice little town there.
will be up in Tasmania or down in Tasmania for the Nationals later this year, which will be exciting. Devonport Bowling Club and Burnie as well.
Now, I'm not sure if it's Penguin and if we've got any Tasmanian viewers on there. I'm pretty sure it was where they had the... they've got a local elephant seal there. Goes into people's backyards and front yards.
And
Cedric, maybe?
He's massive, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's Penguin. I could be completely wrong. Someone will clarify that, I'm sure.
There was one that went into the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria as well. This guy was huge. He was absolutely massive, and he did a lot of damage to some fences.
You wouldn't want to mess with one.
Well, in fairness, you probably could, because he's not going to catch her.
I tell you what, you don't want to mess with Sharon Williams at the moment, because she's starting very well again for her team.
Yeah, we will have a word to the skippers about the views. I think it's Glenda's been great, but we'll just have to let Cheryl know.
I'll have a chat when I can get to Cheryl when she's close to a ditch and try and keep them outside of the tram lines either side of the centre line. And another great bowl from Sharon. She's on fire.
Got John Roberts behind me. He's doing a wonderful job. He's given me a nice little massage.
We're a bit concerned about your hooter, JR.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. Your horn. It's got a bit of an upward undertake.
Got a bit of squeak in your horn, JR. Might need to have a look at that. Great reply there from Val.
Thank you.
Still down, but both leads have set the head up reasonably well for their team. And even this hand now is really starting to bend back, and that's a great bowl from Vicky. Beatles playing out at Broadbeach.
Yep. There we go. Aussie FKR saying Neil the Seal is more down south of the state. Yeah, good old Neil.
Neil the Seal.
But those things are massive, and yeah, they do some significant damage to fences. You wouldn't want to take one on in the water, that's for sure. On land, I think you could outrun him.
Yeah.
Too much blubber.
Vicky, can she find the hole again? No. But makes that hand even a little bit more difficult now. You've got to have really nice weight to bend around the front to sit that jack high bowl now for the South Australian team. Importantly, only reaches the head here. Gee, she's done it well. Still two down, though. Let's see what Sandra's got. Plays with a couple of feet onto her own bowl, jack high. She's actually really close to this. Oh, what a shot from Sandra Hole. Played that exquisitely. Now, we may see a change of hands here.
We'll definitely have a word to Cheryl. We do apologise. These ladies wouldn't be used to being streamed all the time, so it's something new for them, of course. And of course, this is the danger with fours. Of course, when you're doing a television coverage, you have a jib and you have two jibs, and you can go above the rink and all sorts of things. So it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, we'll endeavour to bring you as good a coverage as we can.
Loving this call from Glenda. There's a bit of aggression and a request here to play through the head a bit. It's the shot that's on. It's good to see. And that's a really good sider for Karen King. Gets another one at the rear of the rink.
Sandra, looking to make her mark. We've played 3 ends so far. Time probably starting to come into it a little bit for the first 4 ends. That one is the one up.
It's actually not a bad result for the South Australian team because it's just changed the angles up at the front of the head. So Glenda's best chance here might be to open things up a little bit with this first bowl to give her a chance with the second one. She can get tight to the head and get the one straight on 12 o'clock up and through her own. That would get a good result. But one to the advantage of the South Australian team.
So we've got a very hard-hitting group right in front of us, Troy. We've got Selena Goddard, Jamie Lee Warsnop, Natasha Van Eldick and Dawn Heyman. They're leading 7-0 on their rink. 3 Jackaroos and a Kiwi and a New Zealand Blackjack. Selena's playing a lot more at home. Away from home. Was just having a chat to her before and spending a lot of time at Cabramatta at the moment. Won a couple of Victorian Open medals as well. Playing very well. What has Cheryl Joseph got? Hopefully that gentleman might want to stand out the way of the camera. There we go.
Just having a look at a bowl, whether it's out of bounds or not. It looks like we're going to get an umpire here for the boundary.
Well, that's it there. That we're not sitting directly behind it, so we don't know, but we'll get the umpire out to have a look.
The Australian Open, what a fantastic festival of bowls it is, and it's been. I had a chance yesterday to speak to a lot more participants and things being out there on the green and playing, and it's been great to hear about how many first-time AO appearances are happening this year. People that have finally taken the plunge and said, "Yep, I'm going to have a crack at this."
We had so many yesterday.
Really enjoying it.
It's that has been called out of bounds. We've almost been going 40 minutes here. I haven't completed the 4th end yet. I'm not so sure we're finishing this one today. You can get a gauge very early, and that's why you need a pile on the shots.
That's a pretty good spot there from Cheryl.
But yeah, you're right, Troy. The AO is the world's biggest festival of bowls. You're seeing more and more people come from overseas. I mentioned Selena Goddard before. You know, she's played the last couple. We've got Taylor Bruce as well. You know, a lot of these people and high-profile bowlers from New Zealand are coming over to play, which is really fantastic. And got the Malaysians here: Izzatul Kepler, Zidi Zalina Ahmad, Nurul Aliani Jamil, Alina Nawawi, Ain Nabila Tamizi. The latter are world champions. Rupa Rana Tirki from India, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. So it's really good to see these people coming out and actually playing. Of course, we have Jim Lim from South Korea. He's come down. He's been wandering around. He's loving his time here.
Clearly did your vocal warm-ups this morning, Val. Great job on the pronunciations there.
It's one thing I do pride myself on. When you do a lot of tennis, you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got names from all over the world and...
Nearly every letter of the alphabet.
Yep. A lot of Z's and Q's.
So they've had a really good think about what they want to do here. And fortunately, it's missing wide, so... Reasonably difficult for Cheryl to be able to add another shot. She's going to have to be spot on, but she is playing the hand that does bend.
Belinda Johnson watching on in the comments from San Francisco. Welcome to you, saying thank you for the live stream. Thank you for watching. Great to have your company. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We've had Nairobi. Yesterday we had Sweden, Denmark, Bulgaria.
Okay, I'm going to nick off for a moment and just go and have a quick chat with Cheryl. Be back shortly.
That is a 1-2. The South Australians, they are on the board 6-1 after 4 ends. Here's our 5-shot difference. Jared Greenfield watching from the Smoko Room in Stanhope. Great to have your company, Jared. I know we've had Ben Fletcher here from Stanhope. Played with Shuey White in the pairs and also got through in his fours yesterday. So well done to Benny Fletcher. Hopefully he's watching. He's a staple of the Bowls Premier League in Moama. He used to do a lot of marking and he's got a full-time job now at Australia Post. So we only see him just to watch. Getting a measurement here for the jack. No, it was close. Looked short. But they are changing up the tactic here. The South Australians played 4 ends. So we'll finish this end and then we'll get a gauge of how much time we have left. Because at the moment, definitely looks like the time might be against us. Dorian Williams watching from Burnie in Tasmania. Great to have your company. We've got Burnie at the Nationals later on this year. Troy, how did you go?
We got there.
Beautifully done.
So it's been a pretty good battle of the leads. They've been pretty well rounded, set up good heads for their players to follow to play to. And another good one coming in here from Leone. Can Vicky hold to the inside of this blue? She can. That's a great bowl. That is a terrific bowl and a toucher. So Cheryl's team don't have, calling to make sure she arrives here for this one. She's got everything behind the head. Her own bowl's locked in the head. So no danger with playing arriving weight here. She got the weight right, just her direction was a little lacking.
I did mention on the comments before, Troy, Dorian Williams. My wife is Sharon, so great to see hubby watching on.
She's doing a great job, leading up very well for her team.
And yes, a comment from Pete Williams, only the Para-Nationals are at Burnie, everything else at Devonport. That is correct. But we still are going to Burnie for the Nationals, that's for sure. Para-Nationals we've done the last few years. They've taken place at Mermaid Beach. At I think it was, I can't remember where it was in Western Australia because we didn't go over. We had Clive Adams doing the live stream, and then we had it here last year, right on this very green, at Green 4 at Broadbeach.
So Vicky's last bowl, that was a bad good bowl. She's added another one in the head, but she's really thickened up the target for the South Australian ladies here. So Glenda's asking her third to come round the head. Is she going to sneak round the head? Well, she's at least changed angles at the front. Made it that little bit trickier. It's still a big opportunity here for the South Australian team and Sandra Hull here to really convert this head. She can't with that one, unfortunately. And I don't think she's going to keep that one on the green. Oh, it's just hung on at the back. So Glenda will want to try and split these two bowls up at the back. And it looks to me like Karen is exactly going to do that.
So the skips come down. 6-1 is the score. We've been going 45 minutes. And this is the fifth end, so I know it's very early to be harping on about it, but generally play is at its quickest in the early ends. Tends to slow up as the match really goes on, so I don't think we're actually going to get there here. Did you get timed out yesterday, Troy?
No, nowhere near it. Good 10 minutes, 15 minutes to spare in each of my games.
Quick Corba.
Yeah, maybe too quick at times. Had about 6 feet to draw 2 shots to win the first game and failed miserably, so difference between us getting through in the end, unfortunately, but these things happen.
Because, yeah, the next best, you were well and truly in, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of shots up.
Well, that's a pretty good result. Both of those bowls going into a good spot for the Tasmanian team. Now Cheryl under a lot of pressure here.
It's going wide and long.
So it's definitely 3, could be 4.
So this could be a huge collect. And as we said, Troy, what's the law of averages here? It was the same yesterday in the men's fours. Get to 10 first, you win.
Well, with only 15 ends, if you get down early, it's very hard to come back.
But it is also, you'd rather get down earlier than late.
Oh,
it does give you time to come back. Para-Nationals played at Warwick. I was going to say Warwick, but I wasn't 100% sure. Thank you to Lisa for jumping on for us and letting us know. So we've gone from Mermaid Beach to Warwick to Broadbeach down to Burnie.
Now, if Glenda is only holding 3 here, she actually has a shot to roll the opposition bowl out to make 6 here. She works to the inside of the closest bowl at Jack High.
That's what she's doing.
She's probably a little wide for that. Might be just looking to add.
It's coming.
Doesn't want Jack.
Oh, no.
Oh, well played.
So what is the total? 1, 2, 3.
Now, what happens from here?
feel like I'm the Count from
Oh,
Sesame Street.
Oh. 3 lovely lawn bowls.
Oh, look, Shane in the comments, I don't think we can tell them to play any faster. It's their prerogative to do what they want. Didn't quite see the
handful.
Collect. It was a handful. And already after 5 ends, they're up to 11. The Tasmanians 11-1. This is a very big start for them. But yeah, looking at the clock, we've been going nearly 50 minutes for 5 ends completed.
Well, Cheryl's team especially now, they need all the ends they can get if they want to get back in this game. So, see how that pans out. Now we are, I think maybe Sharon's just not quite given the jack roll what she would have liked. It's a little shorter. It's about the shortest end we've played so far today. It'll be interesting to see how the players adapt to this shorter length.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really nerve-wracking for the South Australians, because they are now needing to get all these ends in, and at the moment we're only going to complete 14 at this rate. Things can change. You can make things quicker, but
another great lead bowl by Sharon. And we had Sharon's husband, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Dorian.
So what did you get left behind, mate? Hey? Girls' trip. You weren't allowed or couldn't get the time off work? I'm sure they're having fun.
Yep. Got Rochelle Barber watching from Ipswich in the UK. Great to have your company. It's, I reckon it'll be 12:50 in the morning. The UK's 9 hours behind.
Sharon tracking well again. She really is playing very, very well. Right in behind the jack. That is where they sell the pies out on that hand. And look at this ripping home.
Yep. And the 4 and 20s are all gone.
Magnificent. Glenda said, hang on a minute. She's playing traffic cop, hands up. Haven't really got an indication as to who's holding here. Not sure if our other side on camera gives us a better angle at that head to be able to see who might be holding.
Well, it may have changed after this. No need for it.
Look at that.
It is very far up the green as well, as it is the shortest end that we've played. It's a lot of Shania Twain playing in the background today.
It's Country Friday at Broadbeach.
Must be.
Get the hobnail boots out.
Well, Shania just said that don't impress me much, and let's see if the bowlers can change her opinion.
Not with that one. Beautiful weight, but it is ripping home on that ditch side.
Dorian Williams saying, girls' trip, they've already booked for next year. Some people have to work. Well, fair enough.
You got to pay for the trip, Dorian.
Fair enough. I'm lucky enough that I get to come up here for work.
Great effort. Not really getting an indication from the skips as to the position of the head, but I would say we're looking at one shot to the Tasmanian team with the bowl at 12 o'clock.
How's this one looking?
It's tracking well. Karen King. Wow.
Karen King, the Queen. Queen of Penguin. Well, don't they have the Emperor Penguin? The Queen Penguin. Is there a Queen Penguin?
You've lost me there.
Yeah, I don't know about penguins. I do like penguins. I'd love to. Imagine having a pet penguin. I would enjoy that, I think.
Yeah, I think the idea of it's good. I think they'd be pretty high maintenance, would they?
I don't think so.
Could you house train a penguin?
Probably not. I know at Phillip Island they have chips on them. I've heard of people actually taking one home.
Oh, dear.
And the next day they have the security show up and they say, can we please have our penguin back? So we have had a word to Cheryl. Hopefully, there we go.
Thinking probably 2 to the Tasmanian combination at the moment. 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, the blue bowls. Green bowls, I should say. Sharon Williams.
So, skips coming down. 6th end of this contest.
So they do have a back bowl on the green, which is just out of camera shot, the red bowl of Sandra Holes. So Cheryl probably needs to play some weight to this head and try and get things moving a little bit. It's very hard to draw the shot here. Glenda's team continue to hold the ascendancy in the game and at this head. Good decision there from Glenda to come around the back. That's in a really good spot, splitting some bowls up.
So the Heyman, Warsnop, Goddard and Van Eldick combination 10-2 ahead on their rink, so they're doing quite well. Was talking to Natasha Van Eldick before and didn't play the singles or pairs because of a knee injury that she sustained, or an injury that she sustained late last year, and just had another little complication. And the doctor said, if you want to make sure that you're right for the Com Games, just play one discipline, work your way back into it. Great to see her back playing bowls. When you think bowls, you do think Natasha Van Eldick. She's one of the big names, one of the big draw cards. Philip Hobbs asking, hi guys, where would you keep the penguin? Hi from Bowls Papa Nui in Christchurch. Great to have your company, Philip. Yeah, so this is based on our conversation about the pet penguin before. We'll just have a quick look at where this bowl has landed.
I think it's close to 1 for the South Australian team with that bowl at 3 o'clock.
Well, yeah, look, I only have an apartment, so I'm not sure a penguin would overly enjoy that climate. What about you, Troy?
I think you'd have to build them a little house that came off the bathtub or something like that.
I don't have a bath.
You'd need a spare bathroom.
Yeah, we've got 2, but yeah. I'm not sure an apartment is the appropriate housing for a penguin, or nor any house really.
I'm glad you said that, Val. We are not endorsing you keep protected animals as pets. So 1 shot to the South Australian quartet.
So 11-2 It's looking unlikely at the moment as we round. Well, honestly, I think we are nearly at the halfway point now because we've nearly been going an hour and we've only completed 6 ends. So that means we're getting to 12 and then maybe the 13th, but I don't even think we're getting to 14 at the moment with how this one is going. Of course, a jack must be rolled before the horn goes to complete that end. But yeah, I think we're at that point now where time is well and truly coming into it. And if you're 9 behind, you're the South Australians, you need to start ticking through these ends. It's like a slow overrating cricket.
Well, it's going to have to start from the beginning here because Sharon Williams has been setting up the head so well for her team. And Vicky and Karen have been coming in and adding to that. So big job for Val Diebel here. See if she can't now, with first crack at it, jump right on it.
Roger Webb saying that he would keep his penguin well fed. Well, nice. That's good. They are cute. So many things you'd like to keep as a pet, but you wouldn't, yeah. Like a bear. They're adorable, but they would rip you apart.
Not if you lived in America, mate. The amount of exotic animal owners over there, of course, popularised by
Joe Exotic.
Tiger King, and that came out in COVID. Everyone's must watch while they were
It
locked
really
up.
was, wasn't it? It was bizarre. I don't think I enjoyed it that much. They were all just terrible people.
Not having known the backstory of all of that, watching it unfold, it was like jaw-dropping, episode by episode. Is this actually just a mockumentary? It was.
I don't know what it was.
It's hard to know, but it's all true.
I'll never financially recover from this. 5 years ago that was, COVID, or the first lockdowns. It's quite unbelievable.
So better there from Val Diebel. Really great correction. And look at that, applying some pressure. And Sharon, this is definitely her loosest end of the match. So here's a chance for the South Australian team. What can Leonie Silman do here?
Gary Johnston saying penguin in an apartment. Well, there's a movie called Mr. Popper's Penguins. There you go. I never thought we would go this deep into the conversation about having an exotic pet. What if you did have to choose one, Troy? What would it be?
Ooh. I think a monkey of some sort, but I know they have extremely high maintenance.
Oh, I know,
it's
but
like having a permanent 2-year-old child.
I know, but we got Thomas Webb, Dawn Heyman's fiance, coming past to say hello. Gave me a little head rub. Good to see Thomas here. But, I think there's those little ones that you see on Instagram, the little monkeys, and they are adorable. I don't know what they are. I want an alpaca.
Oh, yeah.
And there's one in Adelaide, actually, Alfie, on Instagram.
Well, Mark Waller, former Test cricketer and Australian cricket great, he has I think it's a pony or a miniature horse that comes into
Shetland pony?
Comes into the kitchen quite often and has a feed and hello to the family.
Yeah, an alpaca or...
They do spit, though,
yeah,
alpacas.
And that's why, an alpaca, what else? If it was a guarantee that it wouldn't harm me, a pet tiger. Imagine taking your tiger for a walk.
You'd get some looks.
Mm-hmm. Tom on the comments, we will get back to the bowls, I promise, saying I'd love a pet orca.
Oh, you'd need a big bathtub for that.
Oh, yes.
Right.
They scare the living daylights out of me.
So Leonie Silman, unfortunately, hasn't really been able to add to the head. They are still holding, needing Sandra to try and make something count here. Fortunately, pulling up short. Not ideal at all. When you're 11-2 in front, only being one down at the head, you're not really feeling any pressure from that.
Not at all. And I think you're at that point where they could honestly play as slow as they need to as well. Take the time, get off to a win. They know they're not going to finish this. Not even halfway through the allotment of ends.
It's the time of the day too where the greens are starting to speed up. So ladies here just maybe struggling to adjust to that changing green speed. This looks a better one from Sandra. Will it stop for her though? Look at that roll on. That rolled on a lot further than I thought it would. Might still count. Oh, it's definitely a country theme today, Val.
Yeah.
Now we've got John Denver playing.
Feel like I'm at the Gabba. Take me home. Denise O'Brien Warrener in the comments. I think Salvador Dali had a pet anteater, which he took for walks. That's an interesting one. I like that. Has anybody out there had an obscure pet that you can let us know in the comments? We will read them out, trust me. If you've had an anteater.
That's an unusual one.
Yep. Let us know. 1,300 people watching. I'm sure someone's had an obscure pet. Had a hermit crab when I was little.
I must admit, I'm a bit of a Dr. Dolittle. I've got dogs, I've got a cat, I've got a bird, I've got fish.
How many dogs have you got?
2 dogs.
2 dogs? And what cat have you got?
She's Tabby. Grumpy old thing she is.
I love cats.
She is Garfield.
I do. I absolutely love cats. More of a cat person than a dog person.
So they've missed some opportunities this end, the Joseph team, to get a score. Can Cheryl add here? I don't think she is. She's tight and short. Yeah, I think that's the hand to play. Nice arc on this. Will it stop in time?
Very close. Just going to carry through.
Does clip that back one out that might have been in the count. So let's see what the wash-up is.
Yep, well, it will be back-to-back ends for the South Australians, which they need.
We've got a big circle here. I think that was just one indicated.
Seems that way. 11-3 in favour of the Tasmanian combination. So, in the comments, we've got Michelle Keat, been watching quite a bit of bowls over the last week, is recovering from a knee replacement. Second-year bowler, West End Club in New Plymouth, New Zealand. Great commentary, even when totally off topic. Yeah, well, there's been a bit of that this morning. Tassie Adventures. I have a tiger snake. Wow. Okay, that's
next level.
That's number one. Craig Uthenwald would love a honey badger. Great attitude and a very, very small stature. Jason Dean working from home in inverted quotes, from home in a frosty Portland, Victoria. Can imagine it would be very cold down there. Good part of the world in Portland. Western Victoria.
And the sun's definitely starting to kick in. A few of the players starting to remove their puffer jackets and hoodies as it starts to warm up here.
almost at the halfway point. We've ticked over the halfway point on the time, so South Australians are going to need to move things quickly here. Because if you've got less ends to come back from, that can only work in your detriment.
Cheryl's clapping it. She liked it. It's going to just run through a little bit. This is tracking nicely. She's been a bit rough with the last 3 bowls from Sharon's lofty standards today, but she's back on it now. South Australians need to be very careful here. They really can't afford to lose any ends, but if they drop a number here, it's going to be curtains for the South Australian quartet. Can Vicky get under that bowl? Just collects it, unfortunately, for her. Oh, that's come home beautifully.
So they're just 3 of the last 4 ends, just starting to tick away.
They needed that. That's a great bowl from Leone.
If they up their speed, who knows? Maybe there might be a chance. First win of the AO, always very important.
That's going to go under the head from Vicky. She gets a user-friendly rub there. Doesn't get shot, but that's now 2 good bowls in the head. And that'll give Glenda a chance to have her 3rd play with reaching weight, you would think. The camera's not frozen. Sandra's just holding her pose. So great chance here, sit and stay for 3 for the Tasmanian team. But looks like Glenda's just getting her to draw around the back.
So, yeah, it is coming around the back. How quick is it?
Glenda wanted a bit of insurance back there before they start playing with some weight, but so no real danger here for Sandra. She takes good grass. She's got a few options out there. She's grassed it pretty well. Here it comes ripping home. Fortunately, we couldn't see it finish, but she's just snuck around that bowl. She was a little stiff.
Yeah, we have worded them up not to stand in front, so we'll keep endeavouring. Having flashbacks to, and I'm sure those that watched it will know, the Australia versus Ireland men's 4 semi-final at the World Bowls Championships. They would not get out of the way. The Aussies were great. And they even tried to help us.
Unsure why the the Tassie girls aren't playing with more weight to this head. You would think ditch side, looking to sit the jack high bowl with a yard of weight to make 3 would be the best shot to be playing. But they seem quite content at the moment playing the end conservatively. Good crowd building here for the women's fours for today already. Only early in the day, obviously. Work day, but still good numbers coming in. So, Glenda has been pretty good today with regards to playing weight, but
Tracy Harrison, watching from a small town called Kerepehi, supporting Kay Bunn. Where is Kerepehi? And am I saying that correctly, Tracy? Of course, there's plenty of other sport going on. How's this looking from Cheryl? Not quite going to get there. I've asked Tracy if I'm saying it correctly, and just a flat out no in the comments.
You're obviously beyond help with that one, Val.
Yeah, well, would you mind writing it phonetically, Tracy? And we'll endeavour to get it right. Apologies for that. Close, but not quite, apparently.
So we're finally seeing a little bit of weight here. Linda was keen to play it. She had to talk Karen into it. She's got away.
Come on, Glenda, you've been so good.
One shot to the South Australian team.
So 4 of the last 5 ends have gone their way. (11-4). 7 shots to rectify in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 ends. I'm not totally sure that we're getting there. Longest end that we've seen.
We're going to need a multiple on a pretty decent one. They get a 4 or 5. The Tassie girls will then start getting a little nervous.
Yep.
But that 4 or 5's got to come in the next couple of ends.
Yep. 100%.
That only comes with getting bowls in the head. So very important here for their front end.
Or past. So, Zoom, joining us again from Montreal. Time zonal greetings from Montreal. Good evening to you. Players allowed to request to play on grass if they dislike the indoor surface, or do they have to stick to what they're given? That's the question from Tom in the comments. They have to just stick to what they're given. The allocations come out as soon as the draws are released in April. So draws come out in April. That's when you see where you're playing, what rink you're playing on, and what club. So you may have to change from one session to another. At Helensvale, there are 3 greens. 2 of them are on carpet. 1 of them is on grass. The AO, if you win it, you have to be the most adaptable bowler out there.
Paradise Point's the same. They've got one undercover and 2 grass.
What Troy's saying is that he's adaptable.
Yep.
Improvise, adapt.
That's what I'm saying. We'll go
overcome.
with that.
Well, I think you are, because you've adapted for the weather changes here.
I sure have.
You've brought the rug. You've got the hoodie.
I nearly brought the Ugg boots today for the last game. It just didn't quite fit in the backpack.
You may need them.
Now this one looks like it's tracking better from Sharon. Get back to the shot bowl. Not quite. Well, Val's done her job. One on, one behind. Over to Leone now to see what she can do. Will it hold on? Unfortunately, it won't on that hand because they're screaming across there.
PJ Black on the comments as well. Might only get 6 more ends. Well, Tim, what did we speak about the other day with pairs? It was about, 7 minutes an end?
Yeah.
Fours, you're bowling.
You normally allow roughly about a minute a bowl.
Yeah.
Minute per number of bowls.
Or
bowlers, I should say.
It'd be touch and go. I think we'll complete 13, and then it'll be touch and go as to whether the jack will be rolled for the 14th. But I don't think... We're definitely not getting 15. I think that's out of the equation here. If we do, I'll be surprised.
Good result for Vicky. It looks like she's rested back shot for the Tasmanian team. Unfortunately, Leone hasn't been able to help her team's situation at the head there. Creating some extra traffic out the front. We'll need this to hold. Does not want the jack. Oh, finds the hole. Now this is in a good paddock from Sandra Hole. It's ripping, falls over. I think that might be shot. This is the unfortunate thing for the South Australian team. Ideally, they'd love to be playing the other hand, drawing the jack to their bowls on the left-hand side of the green. But unfortunately, they've got a bowl out there which is just about in the draw line. If you're underneath that bowl, you're a chance of cutting the jack down the line, which isn't great for them. So, really are restricted to one side of the green at the moment. Sandra needs to be careful here. Oh, scoots around, good spot. Again, there's another one in that quadrant, but it's almost impossible for them to get the jack over there. So they will cross over now. We think the South Australian team are holding one with the jack high bowl at 9 o'clock of Sandra Holes. Looks like it wants to fall over, but I don't think it is now. Karen having a good look at it.
So 11-4. This is a really tough ask for the South Australians, but when you are within 8, there's always that chance. Scoring an 8 in 4s is extremely rare, as we discussed yesterday. But stranger things have happened, Troy. Have you ever managed to secure an 8?
I've only ever gotten one. It was in a tournament, playing against a guy who was a fellow clubman, was behind all game. And I did it on the last end. We were 7 down going into the last end.
Really?
And I picked up an 8 to win by 1.
So you were skipping?
I was skipping.
Oh, that
I
is...
trailed a jack about 2 or 3 feet to make 8, or to make 7, and then added.
How was the adrenaline after you nailed it?
Yeah, it was up there. I sort of felt bad for them too, though, because there's not, like, you do not think you're going to lose a game 7 up going into the last end.
It's fairly heartbreaking.
And knock wood, haven't lost one. Lost a few 7s, but not an 8.
And the more bowls that there are on the rink, the harder it is to actually manufacture a big score. Like, you see a lot of 4s picked up in singles, but you don't see a lot of 8s picked up in 4s. Even 6s in pairs, very hard to get.
So Cheryl really needed to give her bowl a chance with that one. They need shots. She hasn't been able to add. Now, is Glenda out wide enough? Karen's been such a good lady all day, but she's just blocking us there. But as we can see, that's scooted across the head. So we think it's 1 to the South Australian team. We might get the measure out here. You would have thought that if the South Australian team were down 1, they would have been playing weight on the other hand to clear the 2 bowls out and make a number. So I presume they're fairly confident that they've got 1. Oh dear. Okay, so it's 1 to the Tasmanian team.
That hurts. That really hurts. So 12-4 after 9. 49 minutes to go. We've got to complete 6 ends. Oh, it's going to be difficult, I think, for the South Australians. The only hope now is a big multiple. You secure a 5 and you're back in it. Tracy Harrison on the comments again, just clearing up where Kerepehi is. I hope that's right again. 1 hour from Auckland, 1 hour from Hamilton. Oh, and I did okay with the pronunciation. There we go. Thank you very much, Tracy.
That's a good little spot, 1 hour from both of those majors.
Never been to New Zealand, so it's definitely on the bucket list. Lauren C. is watching from Macclesfield in South Australia. Can't comment on here for some reason, but sends a big hug and shout out to the Meadows Bowls teammates in Team Joseph from South Australia. Great to have your company. That's from Belinda Johnson. So Belinda and Lauren are watching on.
Well, for mine, Sharon Williams has been the player of the game from both sides.
I think it's because her husband's watching.
Pressure's on. She wants to make sure that she can get the time off again for next year, so she has to put in a good performance.
Already been booked.
That's true.
We have a group in front of us here. I'm not sure where they're from, but they've got Grab Life by the Bowls on their shirts.
That's great.
That's absolutely fantastic. They are grabbing life by the bowls. Being here at the Australian Open. What a wonderful event it is. Try and see if Locke can get that up with the picture-in-picture. Might have to wait until
it's a beauty. It's one of the best I've seen, actually. It's very good.
Now we get other people standing in the way of our camera. There we go. There you go. You can see it right there on your picture. That is absolutely sensational. Right under lock on the cameras. Grab life by the bowls. And that's what they're doing. being here at the Australian Open. Nathan Pollard on the comments. Last year there was no way to watch some of the matches in Europe, so your question is ... Did you press enter by accident, maybe? There we go. Will there be worldwide coverage of all the big finals? It'll be on Fox, KO, Sky Sports, NZ, which is all based in Australia, as well as SBS Viceland, we believe, which is on free-to-air. But you can watch the secondary rink on our YouTube channel, which will be right here. And then the replays will be up on our YouTube channel. So unfortunately for those European viewers, you won't be able to watch the singles and pairs finals, but everything else you'll actually be able to watch. It's just those 4 matches that you'll miss. Brian and Robin Stingle saying, "Go Penguin," watching from Singapore. Glenda and Mum Sister. Oh, great to have your company. Hope you're enjoying Singapore as well.
Gets nice and warm there in the port. Very sticky.
Never been, actually.
Okay.
Have heard, again, have heard great things. Very clean as well.
Very even mix of the Western and Eastern.
Yep.
Singapore.
There we go. Thank you, Glenda. Oh, sorry, Cheryl.
Well, that's 2 to the South Australian team. Maybe this is the end they can build a number. Haven't created a huge target. Karen King will have something to say about it. She's close here. Can she hold?
Trying. If it got around the front.
Hasn't really made it any easier for them either. There's really no bowls past the head. Sandra's line's going to count. It's all down to her weight. Cheryl's already clapping it. Rightly so. Look at this. Magnificent bowling. Right in behind the jack. And that's going to get the Tasmanians thinking. And they're going to have a little conflab.
Here's the replay.
It's one of the most beautiful things in the world, watching a bowl drift in like that on a quickish green. I love that.
So satisfying.
It's like that Nicky Brett bowl that everyone's seen.
Yeah, well,
watching that bowl come in and not touch a thing.
I still don't know how he did that. And then, you know, a lot of people, you know, who may not have seen Nick Brett up close have gotten to see him at the last 2 Bowls Premier Leagues. And then I think he showed everybody why he went viral with that performance in the BPL 21 Grand Final for the Gold Coast Hawks. And that was a story of resilience, tenacity, and mental fortitude, that one, because coming last at BPL 20, they weren't really near it. Figured out where they went wrong, started like a house on fire, dropped out of the top 5 after Thursday, had 2 elimination finals in their final 2 rounds, won them both, and then went unbeaten in the finals and won 5 games on the final Friday, including against the rampaging Geelong Jets.
Well, I think this is going to be number 4. Well, there you go. So here's the number we were looking for at the moment.
This is, and Glenda hasn't had to play too many high-pressure bowls today.
And it's not an easy head to play to. The closest bowl is the one at 1 o'clock. There's nothing behind the head. So what can Glenda conjure up here? I think that's a bit runny.
Yeah. Would love a rub, won't get one. Well, now, this is huge here for Cheryl Joseph. If she can put another one in, add a fifth, the match could be flipped on its head. We're not 2/3 of the way through the full allotment. It's out on good grass.
Can she rip home now?
It's trying. She can.
Look
That
at this.
is an exquisite bowl from
I think
Cheryl Joseph.
Glenda needs to get through that gap on the forehand and try and smash some of those bowls out.
I think that's what's been indicated.
Yeah, but I think Karen's indicated to play it on the backhand. Becoming hard on that gap at the front. She can clear 3 or 4 out with that. Might even get lucky if she runs into the front, but looks like she's going to play a very difficult shot on the backhand. She's got to be spot on with the line and weight here. No, I think Glenda's staying on the forehand. But what weight is she going to play? Well, it's not flat out. She's backing herself into draw. I don't think it's going to get back. Wow. Okay.
So here it is. If they add a 6 here, we think it's 5. You alluded to this before, Troy. A multiple can change things. Same bowl. Absolute same bowl for Cheryl.
There's no dangers for her anywhere. She's out in a good line again.
Yeah, this is the same line as before. Has she got the weight right? It's going to hoop back. Needs to get around that front.
Not quite.
Not there. So she'll kick herself a little bit, but I think if they've made a 5 here, and that's exactly what they have done, game on. Game well and truly on.
Huge pick up there.
3 shots the difference from nowhere. This match was teetering out.
And the Tasmanians now will feel that scoreboard pressure. They know that this team is close enough now. They are not guaranteed a win here.
And, well, they've won, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 7 ends. They've actually won the same amount of ends as what the Tasmanians have now, the South Australians. And this is where, you know, momentum is such a beautiful thing. This match looked over when it was 11-1 after 5. And can safely say not many people expected this turnaround. It was more after 5 ends. It seemed like we were going through the motions. Saw some thrillers yesterday and a big comeback in the opening round in the men's fours. Ula Bakran coming from nowhere. Will it happen again? 11-1 was the score after 5. They got to 10 first, so the law of averages means that what we've seen so far, the team that gets to 10 first generally holds on, but they're not winning ends.
Much better line. Good correction here from Val. Can she get hold of the jack? She slips past, but it's in a good spot. Val has definitely improved her leading, and that's been one of the catalysts for them getting back into the game. Sharon was all over it early, but with very little resistance early on. But now she's in for a battle with Val. And Sharon has just got a little bit looser by her standards that she set. Leonie will need this to hold on, and it is. Thought it might have been a little tight, but that's a ripper. It's already holding two at the head now for South Australians. They're making a barnstorming finish to this game. Tasmanians just need to keep their heads here, no pun intended. That's a mighty effort from Vicky. That's a good second. So Leonie, can she repeat the dose? The line's very good again. Just needs it to run. Oh, just falling short. It's just not quite on the right line. Can she get lucky? No. Promotes the front bowl for South Australia. Just about any touch of the jack here will give them three if Sandra can conjure it.
Honestly, I'm genuinely flabbergasted at this comeback. It really looked like the Tasmanians were...
If she's got the run, she's close for this
very
jack.
Close. So close. Oh, a little touch, but...
3 inches more, she gets three, but that's still a great two. And again, it not looking pretty, the head for the Tasmanians.
And see what happens when the front three come to the party a little bit more. We saw this yesterday a hell of a lot. When the lead battle changed hands, and when someone took the momentum, the team started winning. And the front three for South Australia, for Val, Leonie and Sandra, they are giving Cheryl an enormous amount to play with. And we've got a game on our hands. Game with the grass there. So half an hour or 34 minutes to play. 4 ends to complete after this. So realistically, I think we've only got till the end of end 14. That'll be the last end.
I'm not sure the Tasmanians are playing the right hand here. It's very difficult even to get second shot on the hand they're playing. They do get one round the back. To me, it looks like a ditch side positive draw shot because they are hooping out there, get around the front one and trail the jack. Could go big straight up the line. It will kill for them, which I believe at the back of the head would be a good result for them. But I'm not sure that Glenda's got that sort of weight in her repertoire.
We haven't seen it. No weight really seen. So what has Cheryl got? These bowls are hooping back, and Troy Corber.
Can she run it out though?
Oh, mightily close. Terrific sider.
Well, the good thing about that bowl, it gives her a bit of protection to the head. She can afford to play a little bit more weight and even try and sit that Tasmanian bowl. Now, very important bowl coming up here for Glenda. She's playing weight.
So close.
Well, that's not too bad. That takes that receiver out of it. But yeah, I think Cheryl's got a shot here to push that green back. a foot. She makes 4.
Which, if she nails it, they'll lie with the lead. Astoundingly. She's out wide.
No.
So, Glenda Fielding is coming up the rink. It's almost very quick to come up the rink there before as Cheryl was bowling, but managed to stop just in time. Safe to say that nobody really expected this one. Yesterday we had in the opening match of the day, team Audie Murphy and Ulla Bakran. Audie Murphy led 10-4 after 10 ends. Ulla Bakran 13-12.
Yeah, that one mucked up your stats, Val, with the first to 10. Or, sorry, were you saying they still won?
Oh, no, hang on. No, second team to get to 10. No, they lost. Second team.
There you go.
They did muck up my stat. It's happened twice.
Still holds pretty true.
Yeah, well, twice in 6 days and change. Could be the third here, though.
Huge bowl here for Glenda. Can she get back to the jack?
No. And I think we're within one. This is unbelievable. 12-11 after 11. Val Diebel, Leonie Silman, Sandra Hole and Cheryl Joseph have come from the clouds. 4 ends to play. I say we only get 3 more done. What are we going to see in the final couple of ends? It will get timed out. I think there's no doubt in that. So this is why a massive collect for Team Joseph was absolutely vital to get them back into it quickly. And it'll really hurt either team if they lose by 1 or 2 shots with an end still to play. Foul has gone past. And just drop short. These greens are really starting to hoop back now. 12-11. Who would have thought this has come from nowhere? It was becoming a procession after the first 5 ends, but the second 5 ends, they've changed, and this is a much-needed bowl from Sharon Williams. Absolutely dead-eye.
That's a howler. That's just what they needed.
And Troy, the danger now for either team is that you don't want to lose by 1 shot with an end to play, because you don't want to leave anything out there. You want to have the full allotment and say, okay, well, this is what happened. There's no what could have been. Either team now losing by 1 or 2 and losing an end, only completing 14. How much does that hurt?
Fortunately, the South Australian team have opened up with their closest bowl being probably about 5 feet from the jack, so that's not helpful either. You don't necessarily mind being 1 down at the head at this stage if you've got a good head to play to, and unfortunately they don't at this stage. Then Vicky rubs salt into the wounds by getting a nice little ride off the front.
So, Leone, this is probably her biggest bowl in the context of this match. Has to get something in. They're charging home. They've won more ends than they've lost, but they still find themselves behind. If you've just joined us, it was 6-0 after 3 and 11-1 after 5.
That's a great effort.
Favour of Team Fielding. But Team Joseph has resurrected. Had only scored in ones and were down 11-4 after 8 ends. After 11, it's 12-11.
That should cut the head quite severely. It's turning a lot out there. So the Tasmanian team need to be a little bit careful about the back here. There's only one place that jack is going, and it's sort of straight down the line. I need to start thinking about trying to cover and count maybe on the other hand.
Yeah, straight to Valdeeble's bowl. And Sandra still coming on the ditch side. We know they are hooping back now.
Well, you can sit that bowl behind the jack and get shot. She gets back to it. My good. Frightfully unlucky.
But it kind of has covered and counted a little bit.
Well, it's, yes, not counted for them.
No.
But that's a good spot. That's really helpful.
Oh, sorry, yes. These bowls are still killing me. Especially when we are far away. We can't see much.
That was really unlucky for Sandra. She bowled that with perfect weight and line and just didn't get the result. Hard sit on the mint-coloured bowl or the kitty a bit cleaner than she got it. She gets shot, but she's poked through the hole a little, so...
Come on, Cheryl. There we go.
And as has been the usual at this time of the day, Sweet Caroline bursting out. We've even got a few players doing a little jive on the green.
It's a song that, yeah, it's just one of those pop culture songs or community songs that everyone gets up for.
It always used to be when I was a kid, I guess, through the late 80s, 90s, and then early 2000s, sporting events, you could almost guarantee that the final countdown would get played.
Yep.
By Europe.
True.
It was a trademark Sporting Clash tune.
Eye of the Tiger is another one that was made popular by Rocky. Had a guy walk in here yesterday for the men's fours. Had a tiger in, like, on his hair. Like,
I saw
actually
him.
died. And he's walking in playing Eye of the Tiger on speaker.
Wow.
So that's...
Please tell me you got him on for a guest spot.
No, but does that not scream aura or...
That's amazing. I did see the gentleman that you were talking about. Has his own entrance music.
Yep. I wish I had that confidence. So what has Cheryl Joseph got? This is her biggest end now where she just needs to make do. So they're getting bowls back there. If she can get any rub now on that green bowl that's remained as shot.
It's actually a pretty good attempt. She didn't miss that by much, and it is hooping out there, so it's not an easy shot. So she'll be confident with a second, going so close with that first one.
Glenda Fielding, this is the biggest end of the match for the Tasmanians now.
I'm surprised Glenda's not covering those bowls out wide. She'd be happy with 2 in the head at the moment.
All right, well, we'll find out where that lands.
Right up the front.
Thank you.
Karen wasn't tall enough to indicate how short it was.
So, Cheryl Joseph to keep the momentum swinging.
Better line. She held the weight, though.
It's just going to dip under. Wow.
Great effort.
That was the same. Landed in the exact same spot as her previous effort. And both of them were very close. So, a chance to add in a third.
Needs to take good grass, Glenda.
Yeah.
She does not want to promote that front bowl up onto the jack.
You'd almost take the two and run.
You want to be very confident with the line you're taking.
Yeah, she's going to dip under. I don't mind that at all if I'm Glenda. Take the two. 14-11, they're back on the board. It's only the second time they've scored since the conclusion of end 5. They're leading by 3.
It's touch and go whether they'll get the jack down in time for the last end at the moment.
They won't, I don't think.
It'll be very close.
But knowing that, the 10-minute warning will come in 10 minutes. So if they get it in, then that's an absolute bonus.
Good chat about what they want to do with the length here. We've got Matt up, Kitty back here. Always fun for the leads when they have that pressure of keeping it on or making sure that it's long enough. That's what they get paid the big bucks for, the leads.
Jack roll's very important.
Yeah, the South Australian ladies are having a look, but they're happy.
So under 20 minutes to go. We're just commencing N13. Yeah, this is going to be touch and go. I think we're finishing at 14 ends here. And as I've been saying, if they don't get the 15th started, it will hurt whoever loses.
We pretty much started this end on the 20-minute mark, so let's see what the timer is at the end of this one, and then we'll get an idea whether we might sneak that last one or not.
Maybe they will move it quicker. Obviously, they're not going to be too aware of the time. John Roberts will come out for the 10-minute warning, and then I think they'll try and move a little quicker. We're more aware of it than what the bowlers are on the rink.
Good start from Val, just right there at the bottom of the screen. Good shot.
But you would have a little idea because a lot of them do wear their watches, so they know what time they've started. They know what the conditions of play are. Something you just have to be aware of.
Good shot here from Sharon. She's come good again in the last two ends.
And what did we say about that lead battle? When the lead harnesses the jack and has it on a string, that's when your team can start to walk a little taller.
Misses, but at least she misses deep.
What is the final chapter of this narrative? Is it like a proper movie for Sharon, Vicky, Karen and Glenda? Start off okay, have a little complication in the second act and rebound with redemption in the third act? Or is it the comeback story for Valerie, Leonie, Sandra and Cheryl, where they've, against all odds, come from nowhere and resurrected a hefty deficit?
So again, a bad good bowl from Vicky. You don't intentionally get it to finish where it is, but it has created sort of 2.5 bowls width now for the South Australians to get a good result. Get another one round the back. Haven't seen any indication in this game that those bowls will necessarily come into play. There hasn't been a lot of weight played, particularly by the South Australian team. Can she fatten up the head here, make it an even better head for her teammates to follow? Even something slightly short of jack high, out a little bit wider, that just increases that target area. She's on a tightish line. Was she going to hold? Is she going to hold? What a shot.
Wow, that is a brute of a bowl.
That is
Leone.
a curler.
They're one up now.
And everything behind as well.
Holding one. Is time going to come into it? Is time going to hurt the South Australians?
Glenda will want Karen to be past the jack if she doesn't draw the shot off, to give her something to play to. It's tracking nicely here. It's tracking nicely. Oh, that's not a bad bowl for the Tasmanian team there.
So, Sandra Hole coming in for her first.
There's no real danger for Sandra to be tight-ish to this head. Only good things can happen. And I tell you what.
Jinx, she's got the jack down the line.
To her own bowl. Look at that. That's even harder now for the Tasmanians.
They have come home with a wet sail. But is it wet enough to propel them past? We've not really bowled this distance today.
No, and Karen just shook her head. She wasn't happy with it. And that's why. But she may get, that'll be second shot at least.
Here's the replay.
Could not have got a better angle of that kitty going down the line, could they? Went straight to that bowl. Can Sandra double up and add another?
And it's gone in the pit. So are we favouring? I think we're favouring one at the moment. Will it stay that way? Started this end, which is end 13, at 20 minutes to go. The Skips have 4 bowls, or 2 each. And this will give us the biggest indication as to whether the final 15th end will be played. And I'll tell you what, if it's close, the team behind, as I've said, will be kicking themselves. The clock is mainly just an indication as well. It's not the exact time. John Roberts has that, and he hasn't given a 10-minute warning yet, but it's generally within about 30 seconds or so. So
this is close. Look at this tracking in. Can it run? Oh, gee, I thought it was running better than that. My apologies, viewers. That was a bad call, but still plenty of room here for Cheryl.
what are we going to see here?
These bowls here from Cheryl are so important.
Well, she can nail them, and I tell you what, this is an okay track because we know they're hooping in. She got the weight on it here. Cheryl
needs
Joseph.
to hurry.
Nah, that's in. I think.
Yeah, I think it's in.
Or Glenda. The pressure has been absolutely heaped onto her.
Even second shot's a good result here. Likelihood of her being able to draw this off is next to none. So a good second here. will be very helpful for the team. Looks tightish.
But is the weight enough to get through that gap?
Oh, look at this for a bowl.
Glenda fielding.
That's a great bowl.
Well, that is a ripper. Gets in for second.
So not a lot of room here for Cheryl now.
If she can make it a second, it would be huge. It's coming. It's doing its utmost. Just the one, but 14-12, and importantly, that only took 9 minutes. So, I reckon we might actually get the final end of play in.
There's no dilly-dallying, they should be fine.
If there's a measure. Well, it's 11:04 now. Started at 10:45. Started at 9.
Yeah, you don't need time out for, say, a umpire call for a bowl on a boundary, or we've escaped a jack length call because it's a reasonably long end being played here.
And, of course, all you need to do is get the jack roll done. That's all you need. You don't have to complete anything. You don't have to complete a bowl. Just have to make sure that that jack has left the hand before the horn goes off. 10-minute warning is imminent. So let's see if we can actually get this in. I didn't think we were any chance of it, but they've really sped up the play here. And the South Australians, because they know they're coming home with a wet sail, they're moving quick.
Might have to get Lockie on standby in case he gets called in by the ITA for a replay of when the buzzer goes off with the jack being released to decide the game. Could you imagine? Buzzer beater.
Oh, have a look at this.
Well, her lead bowls the last 3 ends when it's been clutch.
Sharon Williams.
She's come up the goods.
14-12. It was 11-1 after 5 ends. 2 to complete, possibly just 1. We don't know.
Right, this is tracking well. Can she get the jack? Oh, didn't get enough of it.
2 very good lead bowls too from Valerie Diebel. I tell you what, an hour ago, I don't think we thought that we would have a finish like this. Ten-minute warning has just arrived now.
Well, based on that, they should be fine.
Oh, 8-minute warning, apparently.
Oh.
All right, well, we heard 8 minutes. All right.
Okay.
I'll ask Bob Carlson, who's not far from us.
Okay, so our timer is 20 seconds.
Or about 40 seconds ahead.
40 seconds, yeah.
Behind, yep. So 8-minute warning was given. All right. Wow. This is actually very tense. So if the South Australians, Team Joseph, if they can't complete the full allotment, they need a 3 here.
Look at this for a bowl. Can she get a bit of the jack? Not quite. It's another good bowl in the head. Needs this to hold. No, that's going to scoot under.
So if I'm this South Australian quartet, I'm making sure I get my bowls right, but I'm getting them down as quickly as possible.
Well, it's a balance because you can't be too fixated on the time. Because
No,
in the end, they still need to win this end,
yep.
really. it's no good playing the last end if you drop a 5. So
Yep.
I really think their best chance of getting shot is on the other hand. They do have one to promote at the front, but there's bowl, or jack on the other hand. But Cheryl's keeping her there. Sandra has played a few beauties on this hand.
I don't understand how people can just go and stand in front of a camera.
We haven't even got a logo to give the... So I'm just trying to track where Sandra's bowl finished. Sandra finished short and on the line. Now, can they tuck the jack? Well, haven't made it any easier. He's going to force them onto the other hand. There's a nice wall to work off. Sandra just needs to give her bowl a chance here. Has to play with the right weight, though, to get around the front and still bend enough. Not sure that's the line she needs to be on. So it's going to be down to the skipper to make it happen.
But still one more to come for Karen King. And we've got under 5 minutes to go to see whether we get this end played. If the horn goes off and the jack's not rolled yet, we had this issue last year where they actually rolled the jack after the horn and we had to tell them that the last end was inconsequential.
That's not a bad spot there for the Tasmanians.
So about 4 minutes. We had an 8-minute warning at about 8:40. Oh, are we going to get these in? Are we going to get these bowls in?
Glenda, you're going to play it like a night watchman in cricket, aren't you? Going to adjust the pads.
Yep.
Call for a new set of gloves.
Helmet's not right. Oh, hang on. I need 4 cricket bats.
Cheryl's not going to do it with that one. She had probably the right weight. She's going to need to make an adjustment on that line. I believe it's probably 2 at the moment for the Tasmanian team.
Around 3 minutes to go. This is tracking very nicely. It's just whether it's got the weight or not. They're urging it in. Karen's willing it home. It's not going to get there.
Tell you what, Karen nearly dislocated her shoulder trying to bring that bowl in. She needs to be careful. I think she's going to have one more end to play yet.
No, I think we might get there somehow, some way.
Now this is a better line. She kept the weight. Can she stay up around the front? Oh, she can't.
So this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. A 2, and then if they make it a 3 here, team fielding, it's going to make it all the more difficult for Team Joseph.
Slips around the back. So we think it's 2. Be a bonus of the South. No, yep, it's 2.
So 16 to 12, and we're going to get the last end in with 1 minute and 40 left on the clock. Did not see that coming. 4 shots the difference. 21 next best qualifiers in the women's pairs, or women's fours, I should say.
So for Team Joseph, 4's fine. A draw here is fine because 2.5 wins will definitely get you one of those spots. We've seen them get a 5 in this match.
We have one end to play.
So the kitty is down. So we are all good.
I can't believe we actually got there.
Yeah, they have quickened up slightly. There's been a little bit less walking to the head, and
because generally it takes you slower as the match gets to the back end. But I think when you know it's timed, you start to sort of it creeps into the back of your mind. But well done to these 8 for getting it in, because we were well below the over rate.
Well, they knew they were going to get fined. Slow over rate.
Slow over rate means that and a loss is the fine.
So a little bit loose from both ladies here. For Val, she's behind the head, which is really important when you're chasing a number. If you don't draw close to the jack, you need to be behind. You need to start grouping your bowls together behind the head to at least give yourselves a chance of making the score that you need. So if she fails here, Cheryl won't mind so much as long as she's pretty close to her first bowl.
There is the horn. So we're done. But we made it. Or there was a rink. Rink 23.
Did it go down? No, it didn't.
No, they didn't get the jack roll. No, they did. That's... No, she rolled that jack.
It was released before the horn?
It was. And they've picked it up and said no. Well, in fairness, it was 21-2.
Yeah, the team trailing there probably doesn't mind so much.
Yeah.
And that's a good bowl there from Vicky. So Cheryl needs to start thinking about how she makes a minimum of 4 shots here. She needs her team to be to the head. Short bowls are a killer at the best of times, but you do not want them when you are chasing a score. That's not really going to help their cause. Of course, no dead ends, so killing the end and restarting isn't an option.
No. You go right to the back. So 5 is what's needed for Team Joseph to pull off the most unlikely of victories.
Oh, sorry, Val. I was just about to say, how good would it be to see a skip so confident with their driving that they just get their leads from the start to draw to the 6-foot mark, draw 5 to the spot, and then hit it. How good would that be?
That would take big cojones to be able to do that.
Sounds like something Rob Perella would have done if he was in the age of jack respotting.
Yep. Well, it's why Ryan Best is so good. Have a look at this.
Oh, wow. That could have been a magic result for the South Australian team, but it's just shaved it. Didn't get it full. But a kitty out the back now is worth 3 to them. So Glenda needs to get her team behind the head here and covering. And oh, that's just made it even harder. That makes it really, really difficult now. If Sandra fails here, I'm happy to say it's all over because it'll be way too difficult to make 4.
And I'm not sure that it's going to happen. Look, they should be proud of their comeback, but unfortunately, when you relinquish a 1-11 lead, it's always going to be very hard. And you mentioned that off the top. I think Sandy Wallace has won on the rink next door.
Coming to a beautiful part of the day. I've just peeled the jacket off, getting warm.
Mine's still on. So we're swapping directions after this. It's going to be after a very quick pit stop.
Coming right round the back. A lot of room between the head and the respot mark, so Tasmania have that well and truly covered now. It's a good try from Sandra.
Skips with the final changeover. Deep conversation.
Well, I wonder what Cheryl and Sandra could be possibly talking about, because there's nigh on impossible for them here. Glenda could throw these down left-handed, because it will not matter. Have a practice on the left. She says, I'll just pop another one in here behind and nearly counting. Shots, though, important.
Yep. Next best, 21 of them.
Coming from a beautiful angle again. Nearly a carbon copy of her first. So just can get confirmation on how many it is.
Yep.
Two coming
taken
out.
And going to get a measure for good measure, just to keep us on our toes.
Might get an umpire out.
Don't go that far.
We think it was two.
Yep.
They had their backs to us when they were indicating to their teammates, but I believe it was two. To the fielding combination.
Yep, so there it is. 18-12 is the victory. We think, we'll double check that at the end, but you can stay tuned to bowls.com.au for any of the other details. But we better wrap this up because we've got to go change direction. So, Troy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Val.
Locke, thank you very much behind the scenes. Team fielding gets the job done at 18-12 over a spirited Team Joseph. We'll be back in just over 20 minutes' time. Thank you very much.